Good morning, traders. What's up? What's going on? And happy Thursday, Money Thursday, baby. It is March 10th, 9:01 in the market. How we all doing today? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful morning. I hope you guys had an awesome hump day. I mean, guys, ladies and gentlemen, inside the chat. It was an awesome day yesterday. We saw some amazing profits. We saw some great market conditions. We were absolutely on fire yesterday, team. And those, that showed inside of Profit Chat. So we saw some big time profits. We saw some amazing work from everybody inside of chat. So awesome job once again, team. Keep up the amazing work. You have been dominating it. You have been on fire for the past 2 weeks. Keep up the awesome work. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep locking in those amazing profits. And you guys are absolutely going to make March your best month so far for 2022. So as you guys know, still not feeling good at all. I actually feel 10 times worse today. So bear with me. It may come off as a little dry and less energetic, but you guys understand why, right? I just don't have that energy to scream and yell, and when I scream and yell, my chest hurts really freaking bad. So bear with me, guys. You know this is not the normal. Normally I am fired up and I am screaming and yelling and beating my chest, but today's one of those days, guys, that it may just be a little dry on the mic, but we're still here. We're still going to get prepared. We're still going to identify the best of the best opportunities in the market. We're going to have fun together. We're going to learn together. We're going to trade together. And most importantly, what are we going to do, team? We're going to make some profits together. That's all that matters, guys. So one day, bear with me. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow coming in the next week. If not, your boy's going to the doctors because something's up. There's no reason that Mr. Joshipu should be getting sick 6 times, 8 times a year and feeling like crap. So anyway, guys, that's besides the point. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're like, what's wrong with this guy? What's up? I just joined. Where's the energy? I just don't feel good. All right, guys, but we're still here. We're going to make it happen, and we're going to lock in some profits. Today's a pretty easy day, team. Today's a pretty easy day in the market. Before we dive into it, though, let's go ahead and start with a big old good morning. See, I got one of those in me. That's all I can get you guys. Trader Girl Beth, what's up? Trader Girl Beth says, no yelling the rest of the week. Her orders. Yeah, just start feeling better. Jakey Lakey, what's up, buddy? Good morning. Chris, Crypto Cole, Catherine, Steve, what's up, boss? How we doing? Kits King, Corey, Movie Star, Steve. Man, everybody's inside the chat today. Everybody's here, ready to rock. Dantino, what's up, buddy? We got some initial profits and profits chat from new member Dantino. That's what I'm talking about. Great job on that, buddy. Getting some profits up in profits chat. Mr. Ron, good morning as well. Jay Doss, Joe, Jamie, what's up? Addie, good morning. How we all doing today, team? Again, I hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday morning and that you guys are fired up to hit it hard once again, to have another big day in the market, because we are going to make it happen. Barbie, good morning. Trader King, Mr. Ron. YouTubers, what's up? Mr. Joey, the man that's still in INDO it. $5 a share, crushing it. Steve, Eric, Cheryl, Raymond, John, good morning. And we are going to dive right into it, guys. We're not going to waste any time. We got some stuff to talk about today, and it's actually a very easy day in the market. We absolutely crushed the oil short yesterday. That was really my main focus yesterday, team. That was our TikTok title for the day. That's what we were talking about in the morning. Was a lot of my focus was in the oil market because we were at some pretty key levels, right? We had that gap up on Wednesday, strong doji, high volume. We actually saw the gap down. We saw that dump. We actually hit every single target. We actually exceeded all of our targets. So USO was an amazing drop yesterday. Crude oil futures was a fantastic 10 to 12% drop. We saw some of those inverse ETFs absolutely rip, like SCO. Had a nice little dollar rip to the upside. That was about 20% to the upside on SCO, and you could have literally just been shorting USO, right? You could have been buying some puts on USO. So yesterday was a great day with oil, guys. We definitely saw the technicals giving us what we wanted for a short. We were sitting back, we were patient, and we got our short on oil, and it was a nice day to short oil, guys. Right now, I'm a little 50-50 with oil. Right, and a lot of the stocks that we're going to be talking about are like oil-related stocks that we've been watching for the past 2 to 3 weeks. Like INDO, INPP, MARPS, ENSV, HUSA, these are some oil stocks, petroleum, energy, mining stocks as well. And a lot of these stocks have been moving well because oil has been absolutely just parabolic. I mean, oil within, 2 weeks went from $90 a barrel to $130 a barrel, right? We knew that those levels were not sustainable. We knew that we were going to see a pullback. And yesterday was that day that we had determined today's the pullback day. Right now I'm a little 50-50, right? We broke below that 115.60 on crude oil futures. That was our level of support, and that was the level that once we cracked below yesterday, we dropped freaking hard. And that was the level that we were looking at to crack below on crude oil futures, was that 115.60. And I mean, look at that chart from yesterday. 115.60. The second we dropped below it, we dumped in literally 20 minutes. We dropped from 115.60 a barrel to 103.60 a barrel. That was a huge 12% drop in literally 20 minutes on oil. Easy stuff too, guys. That was the level. You just had to be patient for it, and that thing absolutely dumped around 12 o'clock. So old support turns into what? Resistance, right? So we had 115.60 support on oil, right? And that was key support, right? We had some prior resistance right around 115.60. We broke above, we ripped off that level, we came down and tested, we bounced. The third time we hit it, we dropped big. The reason I'm 50-50 is because one of two things could happen, right? The one thing that I'm leaning towards is 115.60 turning into resistance, right? So old support turning into new resistance. If we cannot break and hold above 115.60, we still see some potential to the downside, all right? So that would be a level to definitely keep on watch as resistance. And if we cannot break above that level and it's looking weak and it looks like we're going to have another day to the downside, we definitely do not want to be really aggressive with these small cap stocks. INDO, INPP, MARPS. If we see crude oil futures hit that 115.60, get rejected, and we do drop back on off, we'll probably see these small cap stocks not really do a lot, but we have a backup plan just in case that takes place. But again, we could easily break and hold back above that 115.60. And if that takes place, we have potential back up to 125 and then 130. And if we see that happen, these small cap oil stocks are going to absolutely rip again. So we have a plan, right, for small caps. If crude oil breaks and holds back above that level of support, and we do indeed look bullish and we start to see some more momentum to the upside, we're absolutely just looking at stocks like INDO, right? That's gapping up right now. INPP, MARPS, ENSV, HUSA, maybe even like CEI, and maybe even like USWS, right? I'm not too crazy about USWS, but it's something that is on that oil small cap watch list. So that's, that's approach number one, right? That's thesis number one. If we do break and hold above that 115.60 on crude oil, not only could you be looking to take the futures contract side of things, if you guys do trade futures, but then you could simply just flip on over to USO, right? So you could flip over to USO. You'd want to be watching the crude oil futures chart to kind of determine entries and exits on USO, because again, it's not super tight correlation, but they do move relatively close together. But again, you should definitely be watching crude oil futures to dictate your trades on USO. So again, guys, there's a couple different approaches, right? You could trade the future side of things if you trade futures. If not, you could look to trade options on USO, right? If we do see a nice big green day and we do see some bullishness on crude oil futures, you can look to go long with calls on USO. And we do have potential back up to 81.57 and then back up to that prior high of 87.84. That's some big time opportunity with USO on the option side of things. Or if you like trading small cap penny stocks, we could absolutely see INDO rip and run, INPP rip and run again, MARPS, ENSV, and HUSA rip and run. So that's approach number one, right? Approach number two. Let's say crude oil futures hit that 115.60 and we get rejected, right? That's definitely a possibility because that's what happens more times than not. You crack a level of support, you retrace, and you retest it, right, as resistance. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here. I'd like to see a break and hold above because that's going to bring a lot of activity back over to INDO, INPP, and we could see some big time action again. And I'd like to see some big time action with small caps and make some big time profits. But if we do indeed top out at resistance 115.60 and we do crack this trend line, we could get very volatile to the downside again from a technical perspective. So what do you do then at that point in time? Well, you could literally look to short crude oil futures if you trade futures contracts. If you don't trade futures, right, what can you do? You could look to take puts on USO. So you have that opportunity, right? Let's say you don't like trading options. What can you do? You could look to buy shares of SCO, the inverse ETF. This thing would go up if crude oil falls. So there's an option from an equity side of things, right? And then if, and only if, you can short these stocks, maybe you can short INDO, INPP, MARPS, ENSV, HUSA, right? If we do see oil drop, we're probably going to see these stocks drop. I mean, look at HUSA yesterday. Look at that drop when oil dropped, same time, right? Go look at ENSV, dropped at the same time oil dropped. Go look at MARPS, INPP, INDO. All of these stocks dropped substantially when oil dropped. So again, if you do not see oil having a good day, right, and we're not breaking above that level of resistance, and it looks like it's going to be another down day, you do not want to be going long on these small cap oil stocks, right? Because they are going to drop like they did yesterday and the day before. So that being said, just make sure you're fully aware of what's moving the market, right? We're not just trading these small caps because they have news, right? And these stocks are not just going to move on their own. They're going to really follow suit with the oil market. You have to be mindful and have to be aware of that. So again, there's a couple different approaches in the market, right? And we have so many different plans in place, right? We know that we could literally look to go long on crude oil futures if we break and hold above that level. We could simply look to go long on USO. And then if that takes place and we're looking to go long on oil in USO, right? We could look to go long and trade INDO, INPP, and these other small cap stocks the long side, because these stocks would have a good green day if oil has a good green day. That's approach number one. Approach number two, we get rejected. We crack the trend line. We have another red day, right? Short oil futures, short USO, go long on an inverse ETF like USO, right? But definitely stay away from stocks like INDO, INPP, MARPS, ENSV, and HUSA. So what's another backup plan? What's another stock that we have that could be a nice little runner today, right? Let's say that oil's dropping on off, right? You don't trade futures. You don't trade options. You miss your opportunity on SCO, the inverse ETF, and you're like, Josh, what do I do? Well, we do have another stock that could move today. We actually have two stocks that could move today, assuming the attention isn't with small cap oil stocks, assuming that's not where the focus is today, and that space is dead because oil is dropping. We do have TLSA. Now, TLSA announcing positive clinical data from phase 2 trials, right? TLSA is a former runner. It's a low enough float stock. It could definitely rip and run. It's 58 million in float. It's up 30%. It's trading fantastic volume. It's trading 20 times the average, and we have a press release. So TLSA could be that one stock that traders shift on over to, right? If INDO fades, INPP fades, ENSV fades, HUSA fades, and that's not where the focus is, where do you think traders are going to go? Well, shoot. Oil sector's not hot today. That's not the opportunity. What's the first thing that professionals do? What other stocks were gapping up? What other stocks had high relative volume? What are some stocks that had some news? TLSA. Let's go take a peek at TLSA. Let's get it going. That's exactly what we could see take place. So TLSA back above $1. We could see it up at 112 pre-market highs. Over those 112 pre-market highs, we do have potential to the 200 SMA at 151. So right around 150 would be a top target today on TLSA if this is where traders do land. Okay, so you got TLSA. There is news, high relative volume, low enough float stock. It could definitely take on off. One stock that I'm starting to see creep its way up on the leaderboard is AGRI. So this is nothing that I was actually looking at. So AGRI, we do have some news here. They announced binding LOI to acquire DeRue's Plants NV for net purchase of $69 million. AGRI. So we do have some news here on AGRI. I'll go ahead and post that up for you guys. AGRI is trading almost 2 million shares. On average, it trades 6, so about 4 times the average, up 30%, low float stock, and it has news. AGRI, put it in the same group as TLSA, right? So if INDO and all of these other oil-related stocks have a massive day to the upside because oil's doing good, this is the focus. You're not looking at AGRI, you're not looking at TLSA, you're looking at these oil-related stocks, these stocks that have done fantastic for the past couple of weeks. But if we do not see these stocks ripping and running and they're fading, right, traders are going to go back to these other stocks that are gapping up that have news with high relative volume. That's going to be stocks like TLSA. Get prepared, understand your levels. We just did. and then AGRI. Now, AGRI looks like it's a stock that I've traded in the past because I already have some levels marked up. But let's go ahead and redo our due diligence and see exactly where this stock could go if this is going to be the stock that traders land on today. $2 support at this point in time. Looking up underneath some of these lows and those prior highs, right around 226-ish. Right, there's definitely a good amount of resistance from 225 to 230. We can see that that was pretty good resistance in pre-market. But if AGRI gets above that, 225 to 230 level, you do have some potential to 254, and then you do have some room up to 275. And then looking left, high twos up towards around 3. So about every 25 cents. That's actually pretty easy. 225 to 250, 250 to 275, 275 to 3. Those are going to be some levels to lock in profit. Pretty easy, every 25 cents to the upside on AGRI. So we know why AGRI is moving. We're already prepared. We know what to expect. Really, these two stocks, AGRI and TLSA, are really going to get that hype and that movement, in my opinion, if we see these small cap oil stocks not do anything today, right? But I'd really like to see oil have a good day, right? I really would, because again, we could see INDO just rip to the upside, INPP, and all of these other stocks just rip like they have to the upside. And there's some really simple opportunity to lock in some big time profits. And then last but not least, I do want to watch KALA as a back burner stock, guys, right? So yesterday we were looking to see if this was a continuation play. It was not a continuation play on KALA. And then if it wasn't a continuation play, I said keep this on watch for the mid-candle breakout. Not the best looking mid-candle breakout, but it's decent. We have a big green day there on Tuesday. Wednesday, gap down, falling right in the middle of the first big green day. We're just looking for a break back above yesterday's levels. So that's right around 127. And that's also the pre-market high. So this is a really clean chart. KALA is a back burner sleeper play for the possible mid-candle breakout. If KALA breaks above 127, I'm taking it long into the 150s. There's a lot of great opportunity with KALA, but it's the same thing with KALA, just like AGRI and TLSA, right? If these oil stocks steal the focus and the volume, you probably won't see anything happen with KALA, right? But if those oil stocks don't steal the volume and the attention, you do have a lot of great opportunity with KALA, not to mention TLSA and AGRI. So I really like KALA. I want to keep it on high watch for the potential mid-candle breakout. Once again, over 127, you have potential to 140 and then 150 to 154. Now you start breaking over Tuesday's highs at 154. You do have some potential up towards around 167. So this is my number one back burner sleeper play pick, is going to be KALA. There's a lot of great opportunity to the upside here. Really nice daily technical formation. I want to keep the stock on high watch, guys. Do not sleep on this. It is a sleeper play, and it may sleep on you and just rip and run 20, 30 cents to the upside. So definitely have the stock on high watch. I like these mid candles. They're quick plays. They work out fast. They're clean. And when they work out, right? 80-20 setup. So definitely keep KALA on watch. And then the SPY and the Qs, right? We have about 10 minutes to go. So I know you guys are looking at the SPY and the Qs as well. This was a great short yesterday on the SPY. Now, I know I was looking for the immediate drop on off yesterday, but we just chopped at 127, right? We just chopped. I know we hit highs of 129, but we can see that that level of 127 was a pretty key level, and there was a lot of price action, a lot of congestion around that 427. So again, we hit it a lot as resistance. We got above, we tried holding a support, and again, we just really chopped off that level. We finally cracked back down below 427 this morning, popped up, retested it as resistance. We are just now hitting target. Our target was 421.10. So if you guys were taking those weekly expirations on SPY puts, those 420s, you guys are now in the green and you have 1 day until expiration. So you guys are getting paid on those SPY puts. I still think there's some potential to the downside today. Cracking below 421.10, we have potential down towards around 419. Below 419, we're looking to take this short to 415.25, right around the low 415s. I definitely think if we crack below that 415, we'll absolutely see that 411 retested and a possible crack below, coming back down into this lower downtrend off these lows. And that's going to place us, if we see that by tomorrow, you know, we could absolutely see low 400s by the end of the week, which is coming back down to the lower part of this falling channel, right? So again, right now at this point in time, we are hitting target from those puts from yesterday. So when this opens, you're going to be substantially in the green. Think about locking in some profits. Maybe leave a runner on the table as well to see if we do get that crack below the 421.10. See if we get that crack below that 419 level. We could look to take this down even lower into the 415s and possibly even into 411 as a runner. And those puts are going to absolutely pay on off. So again, we know exactly what to look for on the SPY. All right, the SPY still has resistance at 427. I don't want to see it even get close to 427 today, as I'm leaning towards the short side, right? I'd like to see these levels crack, get some puts on the table, take it down for another swing into tomorrow, and a nice little day trade as well. But if we do see a strong bounce back up to 427, I think we would see that level break, and your next level that we would see is right around 433. Right now, I'm like 70% confident we're going to see a red day on the SPY, and we'll have some opportunity to the short side. But there is still that 30% chance that we hold that strong level of support and we see a nice bounce and we see a nice green day. But again, I'm leaning 70% to the short side, but you should always have a long plan as well, right? We have a short plan in place. You should always have a long plan in place as well, just in case the short doesn't work out. You can still make money to the long side, right? So my long plan would be breaking above that 427 once again, staying above 427. If that takes place, I would think about some calls into tomorrow, which would put us around 433 to 433 to 434 resistance. So there's still some good opportunity to the long side as well. But again, that's like 30% of my bias would be, you know, we have potential to the long side. I'm still leaning 70% short. And again, we really just need to focus on those two levels that we just pointed out, 421.10, 419. Cracking below those two levels, staying below those two levels. You got a target of 415.25 and then 411 to the downside on the SPY. All right. So we do have about 6 minutes to go. Very simple day. We know exactly what to look at, why we're looking at it, and we have a lot of different plans in place, right? We have oil futures, oil options. We have some inverse ETFs for equities. We have these small cap stocks that could rip and run. Again, if we see oil having a red day, right, we can short oil futures, we can short USO with options, we can take puts, we can look to go long on those inverse ETFs, right? And then we have some backup small caps, right? We have KALA for the mid-candle breakout that has great potential. TLSA with news, high relative volume, gapping up, that has potential back above $1. And then we have AGRI as well with news, high relative volume, low float stock that has potential if these small cap oil stocks don't have a nice big green day, right? So very simple day. There's a lot that we talked about, right? But we're prepared. We know exactly what we need to be looking for, right? We know exactly what to see. If we see oil do this, we know where the opportunity is, right? If we see oil do that, we know where the opportunity could be. So we have a plan across the board for futures, for options, for equities, penny stocks, large caps. It does not matter. We've just absolutely picked apart the market, dissected the crap out of it, and we have so many great plans in place. And now we just sit back and wait for the opportunities to present themselves. This is the worst part about trading. This is the boring part. Sitting back on your hands and waiting for an opportunity to present itself. Build your plan, take the trade, lock in profits. But right now we sit back and we simply wait. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's take a quick little vote, guys. All right? Let's take a quick little vote and see what you guys are thinking. What stock do you think is going to do the best today? Do you think it's going to be small cap oil stocks, right? Do you think we're going to have some hype with small cap oil stocks? Do you think it's going to be maybe like TLSA that has news? Do you think it's going to be something like AGRI, right, that has news as well? Do you think it's going to be something like KLA for the mid candle breakout? Or do you think we should just put our focus with the SPY and the Qs for those puts, right? So what are you guys thinking? What stock do you think will do the best today? Go ahead and cast your vote. The poll is in, ladies and gentlemen. So if you guys are new to chat, we have our recent polls right up here. We can see here, what stock do you think will do the best today? You can click on that, go ahead and cast your vote, or if you have your chat room detached, you see the poll notification that just pops up here at the top. So you can simply click on that, the poll's going to pop on up, and you could simply go ahead and cast your vote. So what stock do you think is going to do the best today? Small cap oil stocks, TLSA, AGRI, right? These stocks that have high relative volume, that are gapping up with news. Do you think it's going to be maybe the mid-candle breakout opportunity with KALA? Or do you think we should just put our focus with the SPY and the Qs for those potential puts? Go ahead and cast your vote, and let's see what you guys are thinking. Over on YouTube, go ahead and type up what stocks you think are going to be the best today, and let's see what you guys are thinking. Right now, we got small cap oil stocks. Small cap oil. That's 54% of chat. I want everybody casting those votes, baby. Go ahead and jump on in there. Get those votes casted on up. Let's see what you guys are thinking. I want to see everybody voting today. I want to see if we can destroy the poll system. I want everybody voting as many times as you can. Let's see if we can crash the poll system, or let's see if it's actually strong and intact. So right now we got 62% of chat saying small cap oil. We have 25% of chat saying AGRI. All right, so right now it looks like a lot of traders in chat are really just looking at these small cap oil stocks. So let's see if oil has a good day, guys. We definitely need to be watching at crude oil futures, right? That's going to really dictate where these small cap oil stocks could be going. We do have a really nice uptrend on /CL. These are crude oil futures. And again, we have that 115.60 level that we have to really keep on watch to see what takes place at this level. Big time breakout, we'll see big time rips and runs with small cap oil. Rejection, crack the trend line, followed by a dump. You do not want to be long at that point in time on any of these small cap oil stocks. So if you guys are long small cap oil, you definitely need to be looking at crude oil futures as well, because if you see this market dump on off, you need to go ahead and lock up your profits to the long side on these small cap oil stocks. However, if you see oil ripping and running and doing well, you can continue to hold some of these small cap oil stocks for more movement to the upside. All right, so you definitely need to be watching crude oil futures. All right, guys. So again, I'm going to be watching /CL off to the side. I would say that the number one stock that I want to watch right out of the gate is going to be INDO. All right, so out of all of these small cap oil stocks, I like INDO the most, followed by IMPP. ENSV is another one that I like. HUSA is another solid one that I like. So I would say in order, INDO is my number 1, IMPP is my number 2, ENSV is my number 3, HUSA is my number 4, and then MARPS is my number 5. So right out of the gate, guys, I think it's safe to say that we just go ahead and put some focus here on INDO. We have support back down at 41.62. If we see oil open up at 9:30 and start ripping and running, we could absolutely see INDO back up at 47.85 and then 52.20. So we are all set, ready to rock and roll. Small cap oil, INDO, AGRI. We definitely have a lot of opportunity, guys. So let's take a step back out of the gate. Let's see what futures do. Oil futures do the first maybe 3 to 5 minutes. That's going to dictate what happens with these small cap oil stocks. And that'll give us an idea if we should take our attention over to, say, KALA for the mid-candle breakout. Maybe it's TLSA off news, or maybe it's even AGRI off news. But I would say right now, the most of the votes that we had were going to be small cap oil stocks. 68% of chat all saying small cap oil. Let's put our focus here on INDO, guys. So right now, INDO is getting halted to the downside. IMPP is dropping on off as well, guys. Be smart, be safe. MARPS dropping to the downside. ENSV dropping to the downside. HUSA dropping to the downside. Looks like INDO it was getting halted, but it broke out of that halt level. And right now you do have crude oil futures slightly up, slightly green the first couple of minutes out of the gate. And right now we see that quick shift of attention, right? The second we saw INDO, INPP, MARPS, a lot of those small cap oil stocks drop on off, we saw a quick shift on over to TLSA and AGRI. But right now we're starting to see that shift back on over to these small cap oil stocks. So again, out of the gate, little volatile, little all over the place, no clear indication of direction yet. So be smart, trade safe, guys. Don't just jump in because something's moving. Really just make sure that you're on the right trade and you're on the right side of the trade. Right now, you're only 2 minutes in. You're not even 3 minutes into the market. If you don't have a trade yet, it's okay, guys. It's okay. As you guys can see, I have no trades right now. I had one trade on INDO this morning in pre-market for a nice little dip buy. It didn't bounce the way I expected, so I went ahead and got out for a small little 60 bucks. But that's the only thing that I have going for the day, guys. So AGRI has that support level back down at 2. We can see that resistance is at that 225, and then you had that 250 resistance. So we saw a quick shift, right? So that's all we saw. The second INDO dropped, it looked like it was getting halted. INPP was dropping, MARPS. All of these small cap oil stocks were dropping on off. So you saw a quick shift to TLSA that had a quick little 10-cent spike. And then you saw AGRI with a quick little 50-cent spike right out of the gate. You didn't really see too much with KALA, but this is still a back burner sleeper play. But right now, as long as oil futures hold that trend line, we don't crack below that trend line, we're still good to go long on these small cap oil stocks. If you ever start to see crude oil futures cracking this trend line, it's probably going to roll on over and dump on off. You want to be making sure that you're not still long on like INDO or INPP, because those would start dumping on off as well, guys. Just look at how close these are correlating, right? I just want to take a step back and actually just show you guys how close these small cap oil stocks are correlating with the actual oil market, right? So look at that. You're starting to see crude oil futures kind of pull back here just a little bit. What are we starting to see with INDO now? Starting to see a little bit of that pullback. They're actually correlating very tight, very close. You need to be looking at crude oil futures, making sure that you're looking good there before you start going long on something like INDO. You can prevent a really bad trade on one of these penny stocks just by taking that extra step to look and see what oil is doing. So right now I have no desire to take any trade. I'm sitting back being patient, and I'm just making sure that when I take a trade, I'm on the right side of the trade. And that's going to be a big winner. I want to find a one and done today with you guys. That's it, one and done. I can go to the doctor. I make everybody in chat 500 plus. I get to go to the doctor. Let's go. All right, so we got our first halt, ENSV, halted to the upside. ENSV has room to 486 and then $5. Over that, you could see 631. So ENSV right now, nice little pop to the upside, halted. Look at HUSA. HUSA is getting a lot of hype to the upside right now as well. So yeah, I just really want to make sure that we're trading the right trades. I know there's a lot of stuff moving right now, guys, but I really just want to make sure that we're focused on the right stocks, we get the best setups, that we're not chasing anything out of the gate, that we're just doing what we need to do to make, you know, some big time profits. So right now ENSV was halted at 933.42. We'll be live with ENSV at 938.42. I like how we got halted right at those pre-market highs, right around 437. We do have potential to 486 and then $5. So if this one does gap up out of the halt, right? It's a $4 stock. I'd like to see maybe 10 to 20 cents of gapping up. That'll put us around maybe like maybe like a 450-ish gap up. See an immediate washout back down to the halt level or that pre-market high of 437. See an immediate bounce and a follow through for the next leg up to 486 and then $5. So right now, possible halt strategy here on ENSV. Definitely should be keeping ENSV on watch out of the halt, guys. So I'll definitely be looking for a halt strategy here on ENSV. This will be live at 9:38:42. So ENSV for the possible halt strategy. Probably take a couple thousand shares on that. Looking to nail that entry right around 437. I would say 442. Give myself about a 5-cent window to get filled. Stopping out if it drops below 430. Looking for a nice little 50-cent rip to the upside. So I'm definitely looking for the halt strategy on ENSV. Now the other halt strategy as well is if we gap down, but we hold support and then we break the halt level. So there's a couple halt strategies. Obviously my halt strategy is the gap up, the washout, the bounce, and the follow through. But if it does not gap up and we actually gap down, as long as we hold above a level of support, and we see the follow through and the re-break of the halt level, that's a halt strategy as well. We could look to take that side of the trade. Right now, ENSV, I got bids at 441 and 442, so it doesn't look like it's going to gap up at this point in time. We got bids right at 441 and 442. We'll be live in about 20 seconds, guys. So right now, halt strategy possibility on ENSV, but again, I do not see the bids there to suggest that this is going to gap up. So right now, the way it looks is we're not even going to gap up or down. We're going to open right at 441. We actually gapped up there a little bit. There we go, getting some action. Not a super big win. Actually, probably be break even if I get stopped out on my last half my position on ENSV. And if it drops 440, I'm gonna have to stop out and I will be break even on the trade, and I'm break even on the trade. I actually made $40 on the trade. So it wasn't that halt strategy. So what took place is it gapped up the way I intended. I got my initial fill right at 440 off the halt strategy. It came down quick into my 426 pre-market level. I added at 426 to bring my cost basis down. We got the continuation, but I got out at break even. So I got my first fill. I was immediately down. I averaged in for the halt strategy rebreak, but I wasn't really seeing that price action I wanted to see. So I went ahead and got out of that trade for a $43 win. So that was my position there. Again, I took that for the initial halt strategy. That didn't play on off. I saw the hold of 426 followed by the re-break of the halt level. I added to my position. I was looking for that spike on up, but I went ahead and got out at break even because again, it's just a little all over the place. So not the best halt strategy. I took a loser to a small winner, but hey, it's all good. It was worth giving it a go. It was definitely worth giving it a go on that. So not the big time profits I wanted, but hey, it works out, you know, it worked out. So oil's right at that trend line, guys. Crude oil futures right at the trend line. If that starts cracking on down here, guys, watch INDO to possibly start dumping on off. INPP is already starting to roll on over. MARPS not doing anything. ENSV is struggling. Oil's cracking the trend line. Watch these small caps to possibly dump, guys. I'm not saying they're going to, but it could happen. Crude oil just cracked the trend line. It's starting to get a little weak here. Let's see if we see that sympathy roll on over. Let's see if these small cap oils start pulling back as well. You guys should be considering stops in the system getting out, just in case you see that correlation, just in case you see these small caps start to pull back as well. INPP is getting hit pretty hard. INDO is still trying to hold on up here, but crude oil cracking that trend line. So you could be looking at SCO here, guys, right? If you're looking for a trade to the long side, as oil's cracking that level of support, you could be looking for a long position on SCO. If SCO is an inverse ETF. KALA needs to be on everybody's radar right now, guys. KALA for the mid-candle breakout. While we're still trying to get an idea of where oil's heading to next and how these small caps are going to react, right now, everybody, KALA for that possible mid-candle breakout. So right now, I'm looking to go long here on KALA over 127 up into the 140, what was it, 154, 150 for the mid-candle breakout here, guys. KALA should be on everybody's radar. High watch for the mid-candle breakout. Got about 25 cents to the upside. You can get away with about 10 cents of risk. So let's see, can KALA actually get that 127 break and that rip and run for the mid-candle breakout? I'm currently long KALA at 126. Stops are going to be back below the VWAP. So low 120s. Got about 25 to 30 cents to the upside. I'm going to risk 10 cents most. We want to continue to see this break on up and put in new highs. Continue to break new highs. 132. There we go. We're up about 200 bucks on KALA. We want to continue to see it break and rip and run here. We don't want to see it struggle. We don't want to see it stall. If this is the mid candle, we want to see it start really shooting on up here, guys. Right now, we really don't want to see it back below 127. Cost basis is 126. I may stop out at 125. My new stop now, actually, since we're breaking out new high a day, 125 stop out. If we're back below 127, that looks really weak. We want to see it continue to squeeze on up here for that mid-candle breakout. Keep putting in these new highs. We're up 200 bucks on KALA. I may lock in about a third of my position here, guys, just to get paid something. 133. I'm playing the pennies. I'm watching the level 2. I'm up 250. There's 135. I'm locking in a third of my position. I got to get paid. Got to be smart. Right now, I'm risk-free on the trade. My stop loss is now break even. We do not want to see this back below 127. Cost basis is 126. We want to continue to see this rip and run over 140 to 150 and not look back. I took 1/3 of my position, guys, to get paid something. You always got to put yourself in a position to get paid. Always lock in profits. Still looking decent with volume. Price is still pushing on up. Buyers are aggressive here. Back below 135, I'm going to lock in a little bit more on KALA. There's 137. Looking pretty good on the mid-candle breakout. Nice little back burner sleeper play that we caught. I'm still holding 2,500 shares of KALA. I would bring my P&L box over, but again, I'm not taking my finger off the trigger. So I'll pull my P&L box over and my orders up here in a second so you can see exactly where I was getting in and my size. So I'm still holding 2,500 shares. There's 141. I'm going to lock in a little bit more. There's a quick $500 trade. That's how we do it. We still have 157. I'm going to scale out in 625s now. I got about 1,200 shares left. Taking a little bit more, and I'm out. I'm out. Boom, 427 or 472. Nice little trade there on KALA to start the day off, guys. Nice little mid-candle breakout. We got the nice little pop. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. What was that? That was over 10% in 3 minutes. Easy peasy. I can say that I'm done for the day. See you guys. I'm gonna go to the doctor. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good job, guys. KALA, nice little back burner sleeper play, mid-candle breakout. It still has potential to 154, but I like taking profits. So, good job. If anybody else got KALA for that quick 10% pop to the upside, way to make it happen. Low risk, good reward, great volume, solid trade. Still has room to the upside, but I like taking profits. Quick 500 bucks. Actually, it was 472 on KALA. 472. Absolutely. Good job. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chris. Anybody else grab some KALA? I know that was a quick one. I had that on my radar because I like mid-candle breakouts. You got to lock in profits quick, guys, on stocks like this. You get those initial spikes, you're locking in profits along the way up. Again, the stock just ripped from 122 to 142. That's a pretty big move. It doesn't seem like a lot, but on this stock, that's a big move, guys. From the initial move on up, that was 15%. The stock's going to pull back. Lock in profits, 10%, 12, 15%. People dream about getting 12% in a year on their long-term accounts. We could sit here and make it in 3 minutes. Lock in profits along the move up. Langston saying, I know you don't feel good today, but can you break down the trade on KALA? Yeah, absolutely, guys. So this was a mid-candle breakout formation. This was something that we talked about being a back burner sleeper play. So mid-candles are when we see an initial big green day, and we can see we have the initial big green day on KALA, right? Here on Tuesday, we went from a low of 64 cents all the way to 154. And then the second day is a gap down. So again, Tuesday, big green day. Wednesday, we got our gap down. So that's the second thing we need to see, right? Number one, big green day. Number two, gap down the second day. So we see the gap down. Number three, the gap down holds right in the middle of the first green day. So first green day, gap down. That second green day, well, usually it should be a red day. It should be a red day. But again, this was still setting up for a mid candle. But again, we get that gap down, and the second day's candle is right in the middle of the first day. So we see the big green day, we see the gap down, we see that second day candle right in the middle of the first green day, and all we're looking to do is buy the breakout over the second day's highs, right? In this case, it was a breakout over the second day high of 127. Our target is the first day high of 154. So our buy entry was breaking over Wednesday's high of 127, and our sell target is going to be a retest of the first green day's high, which in this case was Tuesday's high at 154. So not the best mid-candle breakout formation, but it was setting up for a mid-candle breakout. Normally we want to see this be a red day on the second day. Normally we want it to be a red day. And then the third day, which is today, we want to see a gap down breaking over the second day levels. Well, it did not actually give us a red day. We didn't gap down, but it's still a mid-candle breakout. It still met the criteria of being a mid-candle breakout. So we just had to readjust our entries and our technicals a little bit. And that readjustment was buying a break over yesterday's highs with a target of Tuesday's highs. And right now, the stock's still holding up 15% off that initial move on up. And you still have potential to that 154 level, guys. Good job, Andy. Locked in profit. Good job on that. All right, so all those profits you guys are making for free on YouTube, you can come join the team and work with us every single day and continue to make those profits, not just one day a week. You know, I'm just joking with you guys. All right, I am going to jump off YouTube. All right, we are at our 15-minute mark. It is 9:50, about 5 minutes over, but I wanted to break down KALA and explain why we took the trade in the first place. I know a lot of you guys on YouTube, you took that with me. I'm sure it could have been mirror trading. Mirror trading is if I take a trade, you take it solely because I'm taking it. I definitely don't think mirror trading is good. So I want you guys to not get into that bad habit of mirror trading. All right. So if anybody mirror traded me on KALA, enjoy the profits, right? I want you to enjoy them. There's your quick win. But I do want to state Mirror trading does not work long term, right? You may get some quick wins, right? You guys are mirror trading me, getting some quick wins. I love it, but I want you guys to really understand why we took the trade in the first place, why we were getting in where we got in. What was the setup? What was the formation? Where are our stop losses at? Where's our targets? I want you guys to actually learn why I'm taking the trade so you know why you're taking the trade as well. I don't want you just following me into trades blindly, not knowing why we're taking trades. So again, don't fall into that bad habit of mirror trading because again, longevity wise, long term, it's not sustainable. It doesn't pay off. I want you guys to learn why we're taking these trades. So now you know why, right? Mid candle breakout, how we adjusted our levels, why we got long, why we took profit, why our target is our target, and why our stop loss was our stop loss. So next time you see a mid candle breakout, you don't have to mirror trade me. You know exactly how to take that trade. You're going to be confident to take that trade, and you're not going to need to rely on me or anybody else to make money in the market. I want you guys to be able to do this self-sufficiently. So KALA, not a bad little trade. Congrats to those of you locking in some great profits on that. I just want you guys to be able to take away and learn as to why we took the trade in the first place. So you guys got it. Awesome. Absolutely. We got some people locking in some profits over there on KALA. Good job. Good work, team. And if it does pull back to 127 and it holds, that could be a re-entry level for the next leg up to 142 and then 154, right? If you crack below that 125 to 127, she's dead. But if it comes down and it finds support between that 125 and 127 and it sets up and it shows good support, you could look to take that long off a retest back up to 142 and then 154. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day on YouTube. If you have any questions, hit me up, josh@alphadaytrading.com. We still have 2 seats open, right? So there's still 2 seats right now open for the current promo that I've been letting you guys know about for this week. So if you guys want to take advantage of it, you got 2 slots left. So make sure that you're one of the 2 if you want to take advantage of it. And again, once those seats are filled, we will not be doing any more enrollments for a little bit. All right, guys. So if you have any questions, hit me up, josh@alphadaytrading. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow morning. Hopefully I feel a lot better. Hopefully I'm a little bit more energetic for you guys. But overall, it doesn't matter how much energy there is because we're still locking in those great profits, guys. Enjoy those profits. Trade smart, trade safe. Enjoy your Thursday, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. All right, guys. So oil still looking a little weak. What's going on with these small cap oil stocks? We're actually not seeing them roll on over and not correlating tightly with oil. I mean, we got IMPP that's still fading and falling. We got MARPS still fading. You got a head and shoulders formation on ENSV. So this thing looks pretty bearish right now. I would not touch that long. HUSA is rolling on over. But HUSA may find some support off of yesterday's close. So we'll keep HUSA on watch above 775. ENSV, again, it's looking like a head and shoulders formation. Just be mindful of that. MARPS, there's just nothing here on MARPS at all. Then INDO is just a little choppy out of the gate. So KALA was the nice little back burner winner for a good little 10 to 15% trade there. AGRI staying above its $2 level of support. Finally getting that break above 225. So as long as we're over 225 on AGRI, you have room to 254. Looks like Kits King got in at 202. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Kits King seeing that $2 level of support, seeing that bounce, that short-term reversal, making a solid entry. Kits King right now up 15% on that trade. Good job there, boss. That's a solid entry. And that's what I'm talking about, right? Kits King coming in, seeing a setup, taking it on his own. He is up 15%. I'm not even looking at AGRI, but he sees the setup. He gets involved. He's locking some profits. He's locking in profits. That's perfect. He locked in a third at 225. He's doing the right thing. So that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want you guys doing. In the beginning, I understand you're going to mirror trade a little bit. You want those quick wins, but as you learn, as you become more confident, you're going to see your setups, you're going to take them, you're going to know how to scale out, you're going to know to bring your stops to break even, ride the trade risk-free, see if the stock has any more juice in it. You have your targets marked up, you're not being greedy, you're locking it in. Good job, Kits King. Good job, buddy. That's what I'm talking about, man. I love it. So you do have room back to 247 kits. 247, 250. So hopefully these electrolyte drinks help. I mean, they're helping a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and get some profits in profit chat. Let's go ahead and do it. Go ahead and take a screenshot of your profits, guys. And let's go ahead and get those profits posted up in profits chat. Now's the time. Let's make it happen. I want to see these profits flowing in profits chat. I want some traders in chat to have some motivation, to have some inspiration, that if we can lock in consistent profits, so can you. Nice. We got 50% returns on TJ's account. First day I joined the team. Nice, man. We got some great profits. TJ saying 1 month in, 50% since joining. That's what I'm talking about. Corey had a nice little day yesterday with some charge point puts. Good job on that. I liked Steve's post yesterday in profits chat. ASTS was a trade late in the day after the trade plan lesson. He built a plan, followed the plan, locked in 200 bucks. That's what I'm talking about. How'd that feel, Steve? How'd that feel? You seen a trade on ASTS, you applied the lesson, you build a solid plan. How did that feel? Did it just feel a lot better taking that trade? Did you feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more at ease? Your emotions were a little bit more controlled? How'd that feel, man? That was a good trade. Yeah, I mean, making 300 bucks in minutes, that's definitely not bad. To be able to lock in $576.63 on 3 trades, and it's not even 30 minutes into the day, I'll take that. Steve says it felt great. I'm glad it did, man. I'm sure it did. That's awesome, dude. I love it. Keep up the awesome work. So right now, again, oil's still rolling over, guys. I told you the second we crack that trend line on oil, you get short on it, right? Here's your crack. Here's your retest. We know that when we get the initial crack, we can take initial positions. If you get the retest, we can add to it. Stops or if we break back above. You guys are crushing it with oil right now. And look at SCO. Look at SCO, guys. The stock right now is up, over 7-8%. So not too bad on that inverse ETF. SCO, oil still rolling over and still falling. It's actually picking up momentum and volume to the downside. So we should still see USO do pretty well to the upside. That's an inverse ETF on oil. Oh, shoot. Thanks, Joey.